What's up, guys? Welcome to the Linecheck podcast. It's me, Brennan Villarreal, and today I'm here with Lee, founder of Rose Park Run Club. And I thought it would be really special to have him on today because I just ran the Long Beach Marathon literally today, it's been already like 6 hours ago.
So this is going to be a talk between two masochists, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Wild enough to run a marathon. I did it last year, and I'm actually impressed that you're here right now because I was toast. I went to Korean barbecue. I ate maybe like 4,000 calories, and then I just laid in bed for the rest of the day. So props to you.
Yeah.
Good job on that.
Our post marathon run is we went to Ambitious L's.
Okay.
Where Zarek was working, getting his ass handed to him. And it was funny because there was two like events going on there. It was a 25th anniversary for some Gothic thing.
Okay.
And then this other like Orange County Run Club that just did the marathon. And there's just like Gothic people and runners.
It's a little bit of a dichotomy.
It was so interesting.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I feel like there's that dichotomy, and then what's right in between those two things is kind of like Rose Park Running Club. Like if you've seen any of our merch,
exactly. That's what I was like. I'm like,
events,
this is kind of like, this is cool.
That's rad. Yeah, no, it's I'm trying to think if I had a good beer at the Korean barbecue spot, because I know at least with like the Boston Marathon, the rule of thumb is after you get a pint of Guinness, and that's supposed to be actually one of the better things for you too in terms of replenishing like all the carbs and stuff, like liquid carbs. You can just get them really quickly because your body's like going through shock basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I can barely walk, by the way.
Yeah, I same. So
yeah, Lee just re-injured his ACL.
Yeah, fun. Not fun whatsoever, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Anyways, do you want to tell the audience a little bit about Rose Park Run Club?
Yeah. So, like Brendan said, I started the Rose Park Running Club here in Long Beach. It's for lack of a better word, like a progressive, kind of politically aligned run club. I started it in 2020 after a brief sojourn to Reno during COVID, while everything was under lockdown, and I kind of fell back in love with running then. And I kind of wanted to have some sort of vehicle for a lot of the kind of like social and political momentum that was kind of happening at that time period. But then also because, like, as you know, and I think that's how we met, is I worked in service, and I still work in service to some capacity. And when I was in lockdown, I was losing my mind. And so I was like, I need to find something. And I ran track and field in high school. And then so I was like, okay, well, like, this is really, really cool. And it'd be really cool to see some sort of community built around this, as opposed to how sometimes communities, especially with younger demographics and stuff and people who work in service, it's kind of just around like hedonistic, like kind of just consumption. Like, like just like, let's just go grab beers, blah, 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 which is dope. But like, you can only have like the same conversation, you know, so many times at 1 a.m. and you're like, we're going to do this tomorrow. And then you wake up at noon and you're like, I'm not doing anything that I just vowed to do. So yeah, that's kind of how it came about.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, when I didn't start working out until like, I think it's almost been a year that I started working out, but like definitely when I was working in restaurants, I mean, I've been working in restaurants for a long time, but there is no point from 12 years beginning to now where I was like consistently like doing something active. It was just like work a night shift and then get off super late and then just like stay up or go to the bar like every single day and then just like wake up and go to work again, then do the same thing over.
I think the cruelest joke is that like time traveling you do in service sometimes from the end of your shift, and then all of a sudden it's like you blink and you're walking back in to start service. Like, and it's like, what did I even do? Like, you just like go out, like have a couple drinks, and then like, yeah, you go to sleep and just like are right back there immediately. It's just a chronophage. It just, the time flies so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I'm so glad that I don't do that anymore. It's just like,
right,
you know, it's like I'm so much happier and like like working out and starting to run, like my body just feels better, like in the kitchen, just like moving around.
And that's
I feel like I have longevity now.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I'm a stubborn little shit. And so I don't like being told what to do, and I don't like people trying to solve things for me or give me solutions. And so I just remember, I mean, I worked in service and I worked at a tiki bar. You know, we go hard there at a tiki bar. Like,
I worked there too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, there we go. And
Yeah.
so like, you know, I'd come in hungover feeling like shit, and I just remember I'd be like, oh, I feel so bad, and people would be like, well, have you tried like working out or something? And I'm like, fuck you, that's not gonna make it fucking work. Like, no, why would I do that? And then I started working out. It's like, oh,
I get it now.
fuck yeah,
Yeah.
like wait, this actually
Yeah.
is amazing. And yeah, same thing. I actually started. Evan is the one who got me into the gym, kind of because when I went back up to Reno and started running, I was overweight. I wanted to lose a little weight and just be healthier and live a healthier lifestyle. But I also kind of wanted to look cool, you know, like some Goku body or something. But then I realized later on that I had to work out too. So Evan is the one who brought me into the gym and kind of got me.
And Evan was on the podcast, I think, episode 3.
Yeah.
He lost like how many pounds again? It's like
Dude, it's
130
figures. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like Conan the Barbarian now.
Yeah.
Yeah. With tattoos.
So yeah, tatted.
Yeah. Tatted Conan the Barbarian.
Luxurious mane, dude. Yeah.
I think he's like modeling now.
Yeah.
Which is yeah.
Yeah. Modeling, just doing well for himself, and kicking it with his dog Tituba. He's got a really cool.
Yeah.
She's so sick, dude. Little pug. She's really rad.
Oh, that's so cool. He's the coolest. Yeah, it's just I'm just glad that that's where I'm at now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he started coming to Run Club too, which was cool. And I think this kind of circles back too, because I guess in a way this is in some way, shape, or form a shout out to the Run Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
An open invitation to anyone who may want to come. But Evan's like big, tatted.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like he could hold his own. And he actually told me, he goes, dude, the first time I came to Run Club, like I was kind of scared. I didn't go. He was like, I just passed by because there were like all these people, and we're definitely the most tatted Run Club in Long Beach.
Oh, for sure.
Like for sure.
Yeah.
And like our age demographic is definitely probably the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's either good or bad. I'm just saying that's how it is. And I think people get that too sometimes, like a little intimidated with the Run Club and stuff, because we are so like openly political,
Mm-hmm.
like with our fundraising and like with our merch. Our merch looks like hardcore merch.
Yeah.
Like people,
it's dope,
dude. People
I
are
bought
like,
your
what?
shorts.
Yeah, dude. The shorts are always such a hot commodity, but when it comes to like making them, it's so hard to source blanks if you don't want them to be really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like we try to keep all our merch. Like we oftentimes like to think of ourselves as like, you know, a working class Run Club with a lot of people who work like in restaurants and service and like whatever and creative aspects. So maybe they don't have a bunch of money. So I don't want to make shorts, and we do all the funding ourselves.
Yeah.
Like literally all the bank that we pull from is just an accumulation of what members can contribute towards production. Like that's how we get any sort of money. Yeah. But eventually it'd be really cool to make some like really nice high quality shorts. We just don't have that Nike money.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, we don't.
Yeah. It's cool that you start like at 10.
Mm-hmm.
They do Tuesday nights and then Sunday mornings.
Yeah. So it changes seasonally. Tuesday nights we do while daylight savings is going off. So like there's still visibility. Because it gets dark, and like I don't
like running in the dark.
Dude, I'm becoming.
I like it, but also like I'm just scared to get hit by a car.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm just like, as I get older, I'm just see more and more evidence stacking up that just nobody really knows how to drive. People are just really bad at driving, and not. It's like that weird phenomenon, I think, like not to get like too like social theory about it, where just like people are incapable of like thinking about others sometimes. You know, it's like the guests who are rude that aren't actually dicks. They just don't think to be like considerate to you. I mean, you know, in a restaurant.
I have. Do you follow streaming 562?
Mm-hmm.
It's it's not an app. It's a on Long Beach 562 whatever. Yeah. But they like post all like the car accidents, like stabbings, shootings.
Yeah.
Like on time, and it's just like everyone's always getting hit by a car.
Dude, yeah. I mean, like, look at the infrastructure though. Look what they did to
Oh,
Broadway.
the bike.
Broadway
Those
is
are the
terrifying.
worst.
That's like, and
It's
that
just a blind spot for bikes and
there's
runners.
so many better things to allocate like city funding to as
Oh,
well. Like
yeah.
as opposed to that, it just, yeah, that one blows my mind.
Okay, well, like I just ran the Long Beach Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
I might get a little,
Let's do it. Yeah.
whatever. It's fine though, because I'm here with Rose Park Run Club. But the marathon, to enter the marathon, I think it was like 120,
Mm-hmm.
and there is about, I think, over 5,000 runners.
Mm-hmm.
The first place runner for the marathon, and they do a male and female, get $1,000. Only $1,000.
Yeah.
And then the
And like an
rest
invite
goes,
to Boston.
and the
that's
rest goes to the economy in Long Beach.
yeah, what do they mean by the economy?
Building more weird,
building more uninhabited buildings.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
some vacant buildings.
Yeah, it's just it's funny. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, no.
The money can go to somewhere more useful. I mean, some of it's going to nonprofit, but
Mhm.
didn't exactly say which nonprofits it's going to.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it's rough. Like I said too, like I try not to be like the run club is very political, but I think the thing is because I started it and I knew exactly what I wanted it to be, I'm probably the most political in terms of being like on like staunchly like leftist. Like if you ask me, the run club is anarchist, but that's a buzzword. People don't like hearing about. They're like, no laws, what does that mean? And it's like, no, like when you take like anarchy as like theory, one of the biggest things is there's no hierarchy in it. So like I've introduced myself today as the founder of the run club, but I will never say I'm the leader, because it's a group of us coming together and kind of reaching some sort of consensus before no one makes unilateral decisions. Like everything is kind of discussed and talked about amongst the group, and then we move together in unison, like after we select that. So like, yeah, there's no leaders. There's just different members and participants and organizers who volunteer their time accordingly to like how much time they have. So like, I think I mentioned like I moved to Reno right now because I needed a little bit of a break, a little breather, a little reset, if you will. And the beauty of that organizing structure is I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
And like that's
exactly.
like it's an autonomous group, and that level of autonomy like can kind of only be achieved by not having like a specific leader or putting everything onto one person and just like really spreading it out.
I mean, yeah, I definitely got that when we did the collab event for Got Your Back, and you weren't here. But
that's true. Yeah,
we went to the run club, and like everybody that was there could like help us figure out what we can do to like make this shit happen. And everyone's so helpful. Like, oh, I got this. If you need to get that, I can do this, and got you, and I'll be there. I'll bring some sunscreen. It's like everyone's just like so down and like super nice.
And I think that's kind of like what we're looking for is like self-reliance, but then also just like that kind of camaraderie and compassion for helping like everyone in your community. Like I don't mean this as a flex, but I've been to many different run clubs, and I've been to much bigger run clubs, which is cool too, but everyone in RPRC fucks with each other heavy. Like it does feel like an actual community, whereas I'll go to these other run clubs and yeah, there's like 100 people. It looks like a mob. Cool. But it's more or less, I don't want to say compartmentalized. That's the wrong word. It's kind of fragmented. There's like 5 people over here and they're in their own little group and they don't really talk to anyone. And you go to RPRC and everyone's just making their rounds. Like, and the thing is like with RPRC, like the focus is community. Like running's cool, but running sucks. Like I don't like running. Like
I never liked
like
running. Yeah,
it's not.
I like it a little bit more now, but
yeah,
like my whole life I just hated running. I just did like I did track and field like you did. I just did like the 100-yard dash and hurdles and long jump and all that, but never longer distances than that.
So I ran the mile, and my coach, I had a little bit of like, I was naturally kind of good at running. So I ran a sub 5 mile without really ever training in high school. That pissed my coach off. And then like the thing, like I know I didn't like running because we'd go to events.
You went Coach Carter on you?
Dude,
he's like, you got the talent, man. You just got to train.
Yeah, dude, I actually got fucking pulled off of the track during the 1600 once. Because we were running the 1600. The school we were running against or whatever, running with at the meet, whatever, they didn't show up. So it was just me and my buddies from the California high schools where I went, track and field team running the 1600. And since there were so little runners on the track, they started setting up the hurdles. And on like my second lap, I jumped a couple hurdles, and my coach was fucking pissed. He was like, you don't respect track and field. You don't respect the event. Get off right now. And like, he yelled at me, and I was like, holy, I've like never seen a man that mad.
So mad just for jumping hurdles.
I was like, dude, I was just trying to have some fun.
Sounds like a football coach.
Right? Isn't that what we're here for?
Yeah, I hated the football coaches. I played football too.
Dude,
they're the worst.
I think I've always just like kind of not been hyped with people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
Like it's just
going
like,
back to telling you if you should start working out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was like, no, absolutely not. It's way better for my health. Same thing with like the run club and everything. But circling back, a little bit of a tangent there. But yeah, no. So like with the run club too, like when we're talking about community, I DJ'd emo night at Good Bar on Friday, and if you went into that room, like half the people there were from Run Club. And so like Run Club is really cool, and it's like we like running, but it's designed to be a vehicle for so much more. And that's kind of like we were talking about the merch a little bit. Like I want that merch to look as badass as possible, because I think with albeit maybe one merch drop, every single penny of the profits gets donated. We recap whatever we put into it for the actual production, but then everything else gets donated to these kind of causes that we think that we agree upon as a group to allocate, our funds to. So yeah, we've raised money for like Native American Rights Foundation when like literally everything was fucking on fire for the Western wildfires. Like back in 2020, we provided aid, and like it's been really cool. It's been a really cool aspect of it. Same thing with like, I don't know if you've been to heard of any of our, what are they called? Community fundraisers where we do raffles with local small businesses, which is super dope. So like we've gone and gotten donations from places that we think are integral to the like Long Beach food scene and Long Beach community, like Page Against the Machine, like True Nature Juice Bar, Fourth Horseman. Well, Fourth Horseman like really aligns with us in terms of visual kind of. It makes sense.
If you guys don't know what Fourth Horseman is like a horror themed pizzeria.
So sick.
With like arcade, like horror arcade theme, whatever, and they always play like a B horror movie usually. Most of the time. It's so like
sick.
It's like
it's campy.
I'm a big horror fan. And like most of the movies they play, I'm like, I have never seen this movie in my life.
Because they're all like kind of bad, but just being in Fourth Horseman kind of makes them
They're
good.
kind of erotic.
Yeah.
Right? They're like softcore porn.
They're a little salacious.
Horror movie.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, it's so sick. But they have the best bathroom. Their bathroom's tight. Whole place is sick. But like, yeah, and like we like just doing those, like it's one of those things where it just has so many elements of community and community building within that, like going to businesses, showing face. Hey, we're doing this. Hey, do you want to donate? Like, and the thing is too, is it always means so much with these small businesses because they really don't get anything from it really, except maybe a little publicity, but like they're so down to help out. And that's what's cool too. It's like that meme where it's like, you're going out with your rich friend who makes like 100K and he's like, yo, can you Venmo me that like $3 for that like water that I bought you? And then like we work in service and we'll have just made $100 last night and we'll go out and we'll like be like, dude, it's all good. Like everything's on me. It's fine. That like selflessness. And I appreciate that about Long Beach and I appreciate that about the community. So it's cool to kind of see that filtered through the Run Club for something really cool.
That's super rad. Yeah, you guys are definitely doing a good thing here, and my morals align with what you guys do, and I definitely am here for that. So
are we gonna see you at 10 a.m. on Sunday?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like I didn't finish that. Tuesday, sorry.
Yeah.
Circling back. Tuesday. Tuesday runs are probably gonna cease soon. When is daylight savings? Do you know?
Usually after Halloween, or before Halloween, or after Halloween.
Well, I'd hope. What's the third option?
I don't know.
It's not before.
I also thought they were canceling it.
Were they?
I mean, like,
damn,
well,
what did
like
it do?
they voted on it, and then it like, I guess it didn't pass. Damn. But yeah.
But yeah, so once it gets dark super early, since we meet at like 6:30, we will stop doing that run. And then Sundays we meet at 10 a.m. But what my wonderful crew of like goblins has decided to do, we're all like goblins in the run club. We have the most chaotic energy. We have a business, like a strictly business chat. Like we made a separate chat on Instagram called the Strictly Business Chat with primarily only the people who want to organize. And it's so far from anything close to strictly business. It's just unhinged. It's maybe like, if there were to be a ratio, it's maybe like 10-1 business to just like tomfoolery and memes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we get anything done actually. But what they've been doing lately is they've been doing a lot of runs hosted at different places on Sundays. So like, dude, Sala has been fucking great. Shout out to Sala. They like really went above and beyond to be accommodating to us and to host us. We've gone to Bouvan's, we've gone to Good Time. Today was at Long Beach Rising. So what I will say is if there's anyone out there who's interested, if there's anyone out there in the ether interested in coming to Rose Park Running Club, our Instagram, it's best to check the day before. What?
I was just gonna pretend like it's an infomercial.
Oh yeah.
And if you call right now,
if you call
this
right
number,
now, we won't beat you up after the run. But yeah, so we're always posting where it's at. It's at 10. We always run late. We're on service industry time. And there's no paces. There's no group that runs together. It's like just show up and run, and everyone like wants to hang out and wants to say what's up. So we just wait. Like, dude, when I used to be fast, and even prior to hurting my ACL, but when I first started the run club, it was funny because I had to be the fastest because I brought water. So I just sprinted that 5K. It was terrible, but like I would always be the first to complete the 5K. But yeah, we just wait. So like some people run, and I think I ran it in a sub 6 pace for the whole 5K once. So it was like an 18-minute and like 12-second 5K. And then there's people finishing it in like 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Yeah. And that's cool.
Yeah,
like,
it's okay.
Dude, like,
you all run at your own pace.
We're going to be over there. We're going to like have our hands up trying to dap you up.
Yeah.
Like just hyped you're there, because it's shitty. Running's not fun, and going to a big group of people that you may not know can be super intimidating. So
yeah, you're comfortable. Don't feel uncomfortable.
100%.
Yeah. Super rad.
So you should be there. You got to be there. I'm holding you to it now at this point.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Maybe not this Sunday, actually, because I just ran a fucking marathon.
It's sick. So, like, in keeping in line with trying to do community events and stuff, and if you don't want to come run, if that's too much pressure, I think in November, I'm really trying to tentatively, it's like November 11th, will this even be out by November 11th?
Yeah. Well,
okay,
wait, I think
cool.
so.
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah, actually, it will be. Yeah. That week, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Dope. Well, in that case, so I'm trying to get my homies band. His name is Lemus. A bunch of the boys who work at the Lodge Barbershop.
That's where I get my haircut.
Just
got a haircut
shout
there
out to, dude,
on Friday.
Who cuts your hair?
Fabi.
Fabi's.
Yeah,
she was at Run Club today. I think.
Oh yeah, she told me she was gonna do it.
She was at Run Club.
Fucking community.
No, literally, I think 3 Lodge crew was there because, yeah. But dude, yeah, no, they've always shown love. They've been so sick. And Serge, the owner. Sorry, I ate a bunch of pizza before this.
Oh,
so
I
I'm
had
a little.
pizza too. It's okay.
It's so good.
The pizza burps.
The pizza burps. Yes, it's a thing. But Serge has been the owner of the Lodge, has been so accommodating. And so what we're trying to do is Lemus's band, and then my friend Hussein is actually on tour, and they have like an empty date in Southern California on the 11th. And so I've got the okay with Serge. We just got to iron out some details. But if all things go well, we'll be having a community fundraising show there. So it'll be like $10 at the door, and the bands like have agreed so graciously just to play, and we'll be donating the money. So hopefully we can pack it out with 50, 100 people or so and get some good charity work done we haven't decided on what yet though.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you guys hear this when this comes out, and there is a show happening at the Lodge Barbershop.
Yes, this is all tentative, hypothetical.
Keep your eyes and ears posted.
Yeah, and it's just cool to come and maybe meet members through that, through that avenue, as opposed to coming in and having to run, and then you're kind of nervous about, if you ran fast enough or whatever. Like, it's just intimidating. So it's a little more kind of laid back.
It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Where do you guys like see yourself going? I mean, you guys are doing events still and just running every Sunday.
It's
Like maybe like 5 years from now or.
so before I moved out of Long Beach, I was really trying to get a brick and mortar because the one thing I will say is the run club is starting to get big enough where, like, so we have always met at Page Against the Machine on 4th Street. Chris, the owner, is an angel. Like I said, it kind of goes back to our roots of like organizing community outreach, doing kind of like pushing for progressive kind of agendas and just like good, decent human shit, and it's not the biggest facade. And so like when I founded it and we had our first run, it was me and 3 other homies. So 4 people. And there were a couple times where I showed up and just no one was there. Like when it was first starting, like I was doing like guerrilla like tactics in terms of recruiting. I printed out a bunch of flyers and walked around the bluff and like taped them to every surface that I could possibly tape them to, and just trying to grow this community. And I will never have to do that again, because now it's starting to get to like 30 people like consistently. And it's starting to be so much where it's a little crowded. It's a little packed out when, Gusto's line is popping off. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a busy corridor, the 4th Street corridor. So ultimately in a few years, like, I mean, I just want to continue doing good shit and showing up for the Long Beach community. I've had a lot of people, and it warms my heart, come up and say, oh, like, thank you so much for starting the run club. I just moved here and it's so cool. But all I have to say to that is like, dude, like, I started it, but like it wasn't until everyone else started coming together and forming this community, because like you can only kind of like start something and then like hope a little bit, and fingers crossed that for whatever reason people decide like, oh, that like they agree with whatever your values are, they just find it fun. And like, it took 2 years. Yeah. So like in a few more, it'd be sick to see it grow bigger. I think the thing is it's just really hard, because even with everyone organizing and such, if you actually want to have that like brick and mortar space because if we had a brick and mortar, it's like, okay, we're going to have like Magic the Gathering nights. If you want to come play Magic the Gathering, we can do that. Because a few of my friends have also started like other clubs, and they've said like, oh, the run club is kind of like because the run club started a book club twice. It started and ended a book club 2 different times. We used to do book of the month. And then through Page Against the Machine, so Chris would like order the book. I'd be like, yo, we're reading this month, and he'd order it. And then we'd all go buy it to like support him directly that way. But the thing is like, just like running, no one really likes reading anymore. Like, so like, it's like, I'm going to do one like archaic kind of activity, and that's running. So that kind of lost momentum. But like the homies started, like one of my very dearest friends, Connor Rouse, who does almost all of our graphics. He did the shirt graphic. He did almost all the flyers you see. He started the chess club at 4th Street Vine. Isn't it just Vine now, though?
Yeah, I think it's just Vine now.
Just Vine. They were like, we're done with that.
We're done with. We're on 4th Street.
We're just Vine now. We are the Vine. We have taken that title. And so I think it would be cool to kind of like have Rose Park Running Club almost just like become this like umbrella of so many different things. And like for anyone who wants to propose something, if they're a part of our community and they're like, hey, I really like chess, or hey, I really like films, I would love to like select a movie once a month, and then we can all get together and just like get some wine, or maybe even not get some wine, I don't know, who cares, just like whatever, and just have this space. And that's the dream. But I think the thing is like that requires so much effort. Like that's the thing. And like that's kind of like, for me, especially as I am a jack of all trades, master of none, like I do so many different things. I teach, I bartend, I do the run club. I used to do coffee. I think you remember. I used to do pop-ups with coffee. So like it's hard because there's a little bit of sacrifice at that point, and like then the logistics coming in, like we want to continue to raise money for things, and like with merch sales and stuff, since there is no overhead, we can just donate whatever we make, as opposed to like, oh, now we actually have a space that's like $1,500 a month. How are we going to make sure we make $1,500 a month? Like it just, as soon as like money comes into it like that, where you have to make money, it's like, because right now it's just like fun. It's like, cool, we just get to like make money and then just give it away to shit we care about. Tight, like super cool. Cool, like our like bonds with community members like Surge and stuff, like hosting us at different places, or like True Nature hosting us, like we don't have to pay them, and like it's just kind of this like symbiotic relationship, you know. But yeah, the idea of like having to make money is rough. I mean, I will say though, the one community that I respect a lot of different kind of projects, community projects, but have you heard of USAL?
What is that?
It's USAL. It stands for like, I don't even know. I don't think it stands for anything actually, but they are a community in LA that's focused on like outdoors, like activities and such, and like their graphic design team is just stellar. Like it looks like it's kind of like the same like brand styling you would see it from like maybe like Brain Dead or something. Okay, like they look like they belong in like a Dover street market. Like their branding is ridiculously good, and they do so many amazing community events like fishing and like hiking and like tide pooling, where they've just got their community organized and structured so well. But I don't really have like, it's kind of like what Compton Community Garden did. And they raised their money, right?
Yeah, money,
that's so badass. So same thing. Those two communities, like I would absolutely love to see Rose Park Running Club operate on like that big of a scale. It's just hard. Yeah, it's just really hard, especially without the like roles, right? Without having people who are like, we do this or we do that. Like, it's tough. Yeah. So we shall see.
We'll see.
In 5 years, we'll still be here. Yeah. Hopefully, we're almost running. 4 years old now.
It's funny because the next question I had for you was, since you know all this Powerball, 1 billion lottery stuff, I was gonna ask you, if you won the lottery, what would you do with your winnings?
You know, it's funny.
Kind of goes with your jigs.
My dad was talking about this. He said he'd go hide out in the woods. He's like, I'd fuck off. And I was like, that makes sense. It's very on brand for you, Dad. If I were to win that, I'd get surgery on my knee. I would take care of myself. I would become a $1 million man. Yeah, I would get some cool additions. No, I think just taking care. I mean, it goes back to service. It goes back to working in service industry. Like, it takes a special kind of person. You got to actually give a shit about, you know, someone and have some sort of compassion and desire to take care of people. And just like same thing with like starting a run club and starting a community like this. Like, I think with the money, I would just like to make sure that like the people I'm closest to are taken care of, and the people in my immediate circle. If we just want to talk about like silly hypotheticals, it would be super sick to start like a commune, like somewhere like in the forest with all the homies. Like we all have
that'd be cool.
We all have like tiny homes and like a gym, and like it's like a hyperbolic time chamber of sorts. Like, and if like you're ever burnt out, you could just come up and visit and stay as long as you need, because it's just like an unfathomable amount of money. That like I think that you could do that.
Sure, really, you can definitely do
for
that.
Like
yeah.
10 grand or 10 mil.
Yeah.
So like I would have so much money left over.
That'd be so cool.
And then maybe what would I do? I'm also a hater. I love a lot of things, but I hate. Like every once in a while, like if I don't vibe with like certain places, like I'll be very apparent and transparent about it. But no, I don't know. Like maybe like bulldoze the golds that is here, because it's like the worst gym ever, so they like have to like build their new one because they've been making false promises. Yeah, like I remember, there's a lot. Yeah, I like the old. Did you ever go to the old Gold? That shit was like a dungeon. Yeah, it was old. Cool. I felt like I've kind of feared for my life a little, dude. In there were like no windows. Like you couldn't. It's like being in a casino.
I mean, I feel like that's what like Gold's gyms are like. It's like the standard like old school. Like I was thinking like
Mhm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno and
Yeah.
all that. Like,
Dude, my
it's like
favorite is
it's not.
Lee Priest, dude.
Who's that?
Lee Priest had the most insane arms ever at like the age of 21. And we share a name, so like, Lee
Yeah,
Ackerman,
yeah.
Lee Priest. But dude was jacked. But yeah, I think it's very important that there's a little bit of fear in your heart when you're working out. It gets you going. So like when you're in the golds and like you're locked in. But the one they have right now is like a shoebox.
Yeah.
And they told us, well, one, they closed the gym without telling us they were closing the gym. I remember like Evan and I walked there one day and the doors are just locked. And there's like some guy who's like, I already took my pre-workout, man. I'm fucking pissed. And he's like pulling on the door. I'm like, they're not going to let you in. Like it's
done.
locked. It's done. But they didn't fill us in on it. And it was just
seemed
closed.
like it was just like done for like it was weird.
It was closed for like almost a month.
And then they just like moved the gym like somewhere else for temporary. And
Into
then they're
that,
like,
like,
we're building another gym.
Yeah.
It's so yeah.
It's like this weird it's like a liminal space.
It's like here's a
like this
temporary
shoebox. Yeah.
shitty gym that you still have to pay full the price
Right?
for. Yeah.
And it doesn't even have like all the machines. They don't even have a pec deck, a chest fly. It's fucked up, dude. That's why my chest is so small, dude. It's a direct result of Gold's poor equipment and facilities. But yeah, no, just I think it would be cool. I'd be cool to buy a house in Long Beach and
cool.
focus on the run club. If I like got to do one thing out of all the things that I do right now, even though like I love teaching, if it meant like if money wasn't an object, I think just organizing it, making like the coolest shit imaginable for the run club and like creating this space and throwing events and kind of bringing people together and then just like ultimately just like doing good shit, because it's a scary world, dude. More people need to be doing just.
We live in a very scary world right now, everybody.
So yeah, so just a little compassion is definitely it's a little ray of light. So that's kind of what I like to think of the run club as.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Cheers
Some
to
waters. It was great to have you on the podcast today.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Rad.
Yeah. Hope you all get to listen to this one. I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
But stay tuned and follow Rose Park Run Club if you want to join us on a Sunday.
We will be there. Probably late, but we'll be
But it's
there.
okay.
We will be there.
That was your line check for today, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.